where India's stand has been vindicated by a Pakistan minister.
Well, remember, we at NewsX have been insisting all along that there are several radical Madarsas in Pakistan that act as breeding grounds for terror. And now you have the Home Minister of Balochistan here admitting the same.
Well, Sarfaraz Bugti admitted that there are many seminaries where Afghan Taliban are studying and many are owned by the Afghan Taliban group itself.
After its war crimes there against Balochistan and other religious minorities in Pakistan, this is yet another ugly truth of Pakistan that has been exposed by the minister speaking out along the same lines.
And this is this time from someone within the Pakistani administration. Shouldn't now the world unite against the terror state is the big question by declaring Pakistan a terror state. Of course, movements on the same front in India as well, but the government still mulling all those options. But once again, we're seeing how Pakistan stands completely exposed. But important to note this time, it is from a man within the Pakistani administration.
Yes, this being a statement there that's coming from Sarfaraz Bugti, they're saying that there is an existence of seminaries where you have the Afghanistan Taliban studying. Many are owned by the Afghanistan Taliban in the group there. This, of course, being particularly to the Balochistan area. It is Sarfaraz Bugti, the Minister of Home for Balochistan, who's spoken on that, saying that with respect to not just war crimes against the Baloch and religious of minorities, this is yet another ugly truth of Pakistan having been exposed, and we at NewsX, of course, all along have been insisting that this is part reality where the central leadership of Pakistan, of course, has been in denial.
Absolutely. We've been seeing war crimes against the Baloches and the religious minorities in the area of Balochistan, and now we're looking at how the minister, who is a part of the Pakistan administration, has come out and exposed Pakistan completely. Our Foreign Affairs editor, Geeta Mohan, joining us with further details. Geeta, one from within Pakistan administration now vindicating India's stand, exposing of what's really happening in these camps over there that continue to breed terror.
That's right, Akshay. Isn't the first time that Afghanistan and officials from Afghanistan have also come out and on the record said that it's the religious schools, the Madarsas in Pakistan that actually train all these terror elements and are connected with the Afghan Taliban, given that there are no sanctuaries for the Taliban, for the Afghan Taliban in Afghanistan, that they have been driven out, that there is no space for them to train and to induct the young. And is the reason why the only place and space they get is Pakistan and the Pakistani region that is used to foment terrorism against Afghanistan as a country, as a government that does not agree with Pakistan in how it's battling terrorism and choosing good and bad terrorists. There are no good and bad terrorists, Afghanistan has been saying, and saying it all along, as has India. And now yet another evidence and official confirmations coming in from none other than Afghan officials who are confirming that Afghan Taliban is indeed connected to the religious schools in Pakistan.
Right. Geeta, how are we expecting the Pakistan central government really to react to this, given that one of their own ministers has spoken out in this manner?
It would not come as a surprise that there would be denial from the Pakistani side. It is not the first time, Seher, that Pakistan would be denying. And what would have come as a surprise is if Pakistan indeed would have come out and accepted the problems, the faults and the fault lines. But that is not to be. Pakistan is going to send out a denial and a condemnation of the statements and made by officials from Afghanistan and ministers that we're talking about. And in that, Pakistan continues to remain steadfast in one area and one area alone, that they have been intent and they have been fighting terrorism of all sorts. But that certainly is not the case with India and certainly not the case with Afghanistan, two countries in the region that have greatly suffered at the hands of Pak terror.
And this coming at a day, Geeta, when we earlier in the day spoke about how the FATF is looking at funding in Pakistan, the fact that these madrasas are running and they are being run by the Afghan Taliban group, that of course means there's a huge amount of funding that's also going into these camps being run. So if we put that into perspective, we're looking at how this is a consistent crackdown, so to say, perhaps, or will there be a crackdown? We have to wait and watch. But Pakistan being exposed at multiple levels, be it their own minister or perhaps the FATF like it did earlier today.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been reporting on the FATF report, which clearly speaks about funding and the sources of funding being the establishment. Now we have another report that speaks of funding and the source of funding coming, or for that matter, the ideological training that comes from none other than Pakistan and within Pakistan. If Pakistan, Akshay, is intent in fighting terror, then they should be fighting terror by ensuring that these religious schools, even if they have to exist, do not foment and problems for other countries and do not continue with their ideological strain that goes and not just borders but completely imbibes the ideas of being violent and violent extremism, which is what we see in these religious schools. Now the Afghan officials coming out and saying that the Afghan Taliban is connected with the Madrasas clearly shows that there is a lot that Pakistan really needs to do in fighting terror. Madrasas clearly shows that there is a lot that Pakistan really needs to do in fighting terror, and the international community certainly not convinced. India stands vindicated, so does Afghanistan, but will this vindication take us anywhere, Akshay, is the big question. Will it really rid the region of terrorism if US and the international community, various other Western forces that are invested in Afghanistan, do not really start taking action against Pakistan?
All right, Geeta Mohan, appreciate those inputs there coming in. We're switching focus to other news now.
That's right. This one where Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said that there is an alliance of subversion on certain Indian campuses and that the ultra-left and separatists are speaking in the same language.
Well, he made this point while speaking out to a crowd at the LSE, the London School of Economics, saying that others with different opinions should be allowed to speak. But in this talk, he also said that freedom of expression should not be misused, saying that free speech in society needs to be debated, adding that violence is not the method, though.
Well, the comment comes days after a violent clash outside Delhi University's Ramjas College between activists of the ABVP as well as some other student organizations on 22nd of Feb during a march against a forced suspension of an event.
Meanwhile, there were senior Congress leaders, including the former Union Minister Chidambaram, asking the Finance Minister Arun Jaitley whether he was heading an alliance of subversion, this very same alliance that he was suggested by him a day earlier.
The question is whether he was heading the Varsity Students' Union in 1975 with the same ideology of subversion and alliances. Even the JDU, though, has lashed out at the ABVP and saying that the violence undertaken by the members of Student Union is not acceptable.